As the leaves change and the air turns crisper, September is the perfect time to cozy up and enjoy some quality TV time. We are thrilled to welcome back Crackle TV's Chris Woolsey, who is here to spill the tea on their exciting September lineup. Chris, thank you so much for being with us today.
Are you kidding me? You couldn't keep me away if you tried. I'm so glad.
It's always a pleasure. Now, speaking of September, one of my favorite months of the year, it's such a nice time to kind of reflect and to really, cozy up and spend some time at home. And Crackle has some really good classics this month. Can you touch on a couple of those?
Yes. So we always have a ton of classic TV, and we have a few series this month that are particularly near and dear to me. If you grew up as a child in the 80s, I don't know how you could have got through it without being a fan of the series Alf. One of the strangest series of all times, about an alien who is obsessed with cats, who comes to live in the house of a family and basically just upend their lives. Alf is just adored. It's one of the best performers on our service. We also have the Beverly Hillbillies, which is one of the oldest sitcoms of all time, and yet it is also one of the greatest performers consistently on our service. Interesting little subnote, when this series dropped, it went to #1 on the charts in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And that has never been repeated in television history. So in many ways, the Beverly Hillbillies is the most popular TV series of all time. It's very, very great.
And it's crazy to think about. 1962, I believe, is when that series first came out.
Nicely done. I like the research.
Oh, you know it, Chris. You know it. And so those two are comfort classics, if there's a term for it in the dictionary. That those are two that would pop up. Another one is the Carol Burnett Show, which also is going to be showing on Crackle.
Yes, amazing. She just celebrated a very historic anniversary. Carol Burnett, for my money, one of the greatest sketch comedy shows of all time. Tim Conway, Harvey Korman, Vicki Lawrence. I mean, these names are legendary in the comedy world, and it really set the mold for all future sketch comedy shows in the entertainment industry.
And now, Chris, those are all, oldie but goodies, but you guys have some fantastic originals. Can you touch on those a little bit?
We do. So almost every month we have original features and series on Crackle that you can only see on Crackle. And this month we have one that is really exciting, and that is our Crackle original fantasy adventure series, Cossacks. And this is an unusual series for a number of reasons. One is we don't get a ton of fantasy adventure in terms of originals, so we're really excited about it. But what's even more timely and interesting about this is the series was shot in the Ukraine just before the war began.
Wow.
And the cast is almost entirely Ukrainian, many of which are actually fighting on the front lines as we speak.
Oh my goodness, Chris. Wow. How incredible. There's another original that really stuck out to me. It is A Slice of Chicago Romance. Can you give me some details on that?
Yes. So this is actually a Chicken Soup for the Soul original rom-com. Now, we have a separate streaming service, Chicken Soup for the Soul, which is kind of our female-centric streaming service, and we have originals that come out that you can only watch on Chicken Soup for the Soul, but after a month we also add them to Crackle as well. So we have a whole tray of original rom-coms that you can only see on those services, and the one that you mentioned is actually my favorite, A Slice of Chicago Romance. It is so cute. So it's about competing pizza parlors in Chicago. The two owners despise one another until they discover that a nationwide chain is moving into town, and they have to join forces in order to stay in business. But they discover that there might be something a little hotter than the pizza going on at their establishments. It's super cute. They're all great, but A Slice of Chicago Romance is absolutely my favorite among them.
Wow, Chris, and there are so many that we didn't get to touch on, but our viewers can go to crackle.com or download Crackle, Apple Store, anywhere that you can get apps. Crackle is always a pleasure, and definitely what I look forward to after I leave work for the day. So Chris, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Anytime, every time.
Absolutely. Well, we are back in 2 minutes.